Hi, I'm Ashley from Fit to Fly, and today I'm telling you to read your damn labels. I want to make sure this year is the year that you are your healthiest self, and you can't do that if you don't grow up and start reading your nutrition labels properly and not 100% trusting what's on the front of product packaging. All the information I have from today is from the Canadian government's website at www.canada.ca. Just search for the food and nutrition section. So what do I mean by nutrition labels? I mean the labels that you see on the back of pre-packaged foods. And today I'll only be talking about the nutrition labels in Canada. Every country is different and has different regulations, and with that, so does Canada. I found it really difficult to find anyone really talking about it specifically besides the Canadian government website, so I thought I would share my research and insights with you. So even though the government is there to have these protections for us, not all of it is 100%, and you know what, it's time for you to grow up, be an adult, and learn how to read your nutrition labels. So I'm going to start off with there's two types of claims: nutrient content claims and general health claims. Other types of claims, these often referred to as general health claims, have appeared in recent years. On the front of package labeling, they include broad, healthy for you, or healthy choice claims, as well as symbols, logos, and specific words. These claims are not developed by the government. Instead, they're developed by third parties or corporations, while it's required that the information be truthful and not misleading. Consumers should not only rely on health claims to make informed food choices. That's something that I got directly off the Canada government website, talking about these general claims. This type of wording isn't regulated by the government, so it's important that you actually read your nutrition labels and guides so that you actually get something that's healthy or the food that you want. It's this type of wording that really pisses me off. It's not regulated. A lot of businesses and products use this type of wording to trick you into buying something that sounds like it's healthy, but it's really not. That's why it's so important to just flip over the can, flip over the box, and read exactly what is inside the product that you're buying. For example, when I bought this, the one thing you want to look for is 100% whole grain. And then when I look on the back of the ingredients, it's whole grain, durum wheat. So that's all it is. I know that's all that's inside of there. So moving on to nutrient content claims, we're gonna start off with what exactly are they? These are the things that say low sodium, high in fiber, less sodium, 50% less sodium, free from this. The first one I'm gonna go over is the one that says free, no, zero, without. So what this means is that there's so little inside of the package that it would never even affect your body. So that means that these are products or nutrients that have less than 5 calories of the item they're saying that they don't have. Next one is the words low, little, or few. So what this means is that it's a very, very small amount, 40 calories or less, 3 grams of fat or less, or 140 milligrams of sodium or less. This is the one that really pisses me off. It's the reduced, less, lower, lower in, or fewer. So what this actually stands for is the food is processed or modified so that it contains at least 25% less of the nutrient when compared with a similar product. I'm gonna give you an example of this. One time when me and my boyfriend were traveling, we decided to pick up some veggies and some ranch dip. And when we went to the section with the ranch dip, we looked at 2 different brands, well, more than 2, like tons of different brands, and we're like, oh, let's get the one that's low sodium or low fat. And I said, okay, hold on one sec. Let's just like check the back of these labels to make sure. And sure enough, the one that said it was low in fat and low in sodium actually had more sodium than the same brand in the regular version. So what I'm saying is these only have to be compared to one other product for them to be able to put that this one's reduced or less or lower. So really make sure you're checking your nutrition labels. If something says it's low in fat or lower in sodium doesn't mean it actually is. All right, so this is a weird one that I looked up, and the word was lightly. I don't know if I've ever seen that in food, but maybe I just can't think right now. But basically what that means is the food provides at least 50% less of the added nutrient, less than compared with another product. This one's a bit more trustworthy. I like this one a little bit more. When a product says no added, without added, it means the food has none of the ingredients or nutrients added to it. No ingredients that contain added sugar, ingredients that contain sugars that functionally substitute for added sugars. So the no added or without any is a good one because it actually means it doesn't have that in it. Another shitty label to look out for is more, higher, or higher in. Again, at least 25% more of a nutrient compared to another product. This product has about a little bit more than this one. So even though all these other ones have more than this one, I can say that. Any product that says good source of means it has at least 15% of the daily recommended intake. And this has to do with vitamins and minerals. Vitamin C, it's 30%. Anything that says excellent source, very high in, very high source, or rich in, it's the food that provides a large amount of the nutrients. So for fiber, it's 6 grams of fiber or more, and at least 25% of the recommended daily intake of any vitamin and minerals, or 50% for vitamin C. Light, another one that I hate. It just means 25% less of the nutrient when compared with a similar product. And when we talk about lean and extra lean, when it comes to beef, lean means it contains 10% of fat or less, and extra lean means it contains 7.5% of fat or less. But I found it really interesting when I was reading about this. It said food or meat that has not been ground. So I don't know how that relates to ground beef, if that means this is the percentage before it was ground. I don't know. Some more things that you'd want to know about your nutrition label is the list of ingredients must be listed in descending order of the proportion by weight. So a lot of us already know this. Usually the first thing that's listed is what it has the most of. So if you find anything that has sugar, rice syrup, or brown rice syrup, sodium, salt, you know that there's a ton of that in the product. Let's talk about genetically modified food. In Canada, companies or producers are not required to label foods as genetically modified. It's only voluntary. To this day, I still don't know whether my tomatoes are genetically modified or my cucumbers. I think sometimes I have a pretty good idea of what is and what's not, but just something to be aware of is that really we don't know where our produce is coming from, if it's genetically modified or not. Touch a little lightly on natural, the use of the words natural or natural flavors. That natural flavors that have been enhanced can still be referred to as natural flavors. So I'll just read this right from the website. Substances that impart flavors that have been derived from a plant or animal source may be claimed to be natural, as well as any additives such as preservatives and solvents added to a flavor preparation to have a technological effect solely on the flavor does not modify the natural status of the flavoring material itself. But anything that is altered this way cannot say that there's only natural ingredients. Let's talk about one of my favorite things, and that's organic labeling. Organic labeling was very iffy. You didn't have to have a lot of organic ingredients or products to be able to label your product as being organic. But since January 15th, 2019, new regulations have come into play. It's important to know that these companies that have these regulations in place on them, that they have up to 30 months before they need to change their labeling and before it fully comes into effect for some types of food. So just remember to still read your labels when it comes to organic food, because it might be a few months or a couple years before these changes are actually happening. So now there is a Canadian organic label. To have the Canadian organic label on your products, your products have to be 95% organic or more. Multi-ingredient food with 70 to 95% of organic content can label their food as containing X percentage of organic ingredients. Any multi-ingredient food that has less than 70% of organic ingredients in it cannot put this on the front of their labels. They can list it in the back with their ingredients, organic flour, organic whatever, but they can't label it on the front. All right, that's all I have to tell you about when it comes to nutrition labeling in Canada. If you want some more information, please check out their website at canada.ca or just check out my website at www.fittofly.com. So I hope I've inspired you to please read your labels.